go out, have some fun, go and party. What if you are not the party person? What if partying does not bring you happiness? Like me now. Hello guys, welcome to Wholesome Conversations with Julie and Toby. My name is Julie.
And I'm Toby.
Yeah, and today we'll be talking about something very important. Like everything is important on this channel, right? We'll be talking about when can we truly be happy? Toby, it's a big question.
Sometimes...
When can we truly be happy?
Sometimes I'm actually worried about this bar or this goalpost when it comes to happiness, because it's always been shifted most times. Like I'm worried about life, and then after achieving this, I want to move to the next thing. And then I do not enjoy what I've struggled for. So most times I even worry, is there really a time to be happy? Most times, because as you're finishing one thing, you're starting another one, and then you do not even have time to enjoy those things you've started. So it's a question I'm throwing back to you, that is there really a time to...
Honestly, it's a very big question, because I don't know if you've seen the movie In Pursuit of Happiness, where that guy was just like, he felt that, if I have a job, I'll be happy if I have this. And it seems like life passes us by. Like, we are never truly happy because we are thinking, just as you said, that one thing will make me happy. And like, from my experience, I just began to reflect, and I saw that, like, many times when we eventually get a hold of that thing, like maybe you've been trusting God for like a job or something, and so far you've been believing that is when that job comes that you'll be happy. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you've never really allowed yourself to be happy. And then when the job comes, you move on to the next thing. Like, you're like, okay, now I want a house. And then we have a very short window in between when that thing happens and when you move to the next point. So we have a short window to be grateful. And we find out we are never really grateful. And I feel like being truly happy and being grateful are interlinked. They are like connected.
Of course.
Because you can't be happy if you are not grateful.
Yeah, and I think I can always share my experience on this, and that makes it easy. Even coming to Canada, because of course we are in Canada. Coming to Canada, my thought was, once I get to Canada, everything is solved. And then coming here, I noticed that the new worry is different. It's not now about
it's a different terrain.
Of course, the culture, everything, and even beyond that, you want to be a permanent resident at some point. You want to have a job once you're done with school. So after this school thing, I was happy enjoying what I was doing before, and then it told me a bit that you didn't need a job, and you need PR to permanent residency. And at some point I started to be worried about what's the next stage, what's going to happen. And I thought within me, if I could get a job of this particular range, I think I would be good and have permanent residency. That's all. Now, at first it was coming to Canada. Now it is having this thing. And one thing I now noticed is, eventually it came true. And when those things came true, what I thought was I've now moved to the stage of, I don't know if my boss might be listening to it, I've now moved to the stage of, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Considering 30 years or 30 something years, and then you're waking up early in the morning, going to this place. So what I'm saying in essence is, if you're looking at the process, now I thought what I needed was this job and the PR just to be happy. And even apart from the PR, now one is considering citizenship. So it's more of what to do. So, and one thing I now realized over time is, we forget, or for me, from my own experience, I forget that life is a journey and a process, and I need to enjoy every moment of the process, because usually now I am single, and then I forget to enjoy my singlehood because I'm in search of a woman. So I now get married and miss those days of singlehood, and then that's always the problem. Now I now have kids. I'm now married, waiting for the time to have kids, forgetting to enjoy the time with my wife, and now I have kids. And now when you have kids, there are moments you should bond with them, enjoying
and
those
it
moments.
goes by very fast.
But now you're so worried, like these kids are frustrating, they are doing all that. Now they leave the home and you miss those times. So what I'm saying in essence is most times life is actually a process and a journey, and we want to move to the next thing and we forget about enjoying that moment.
Time, that period. I think staying in the, in fact, you've said it like beautifully, staying in the present. We need to will ourselves to stay in the present. And there are so many things that are tied with not staying in the present. Like, for instance, when we talk about worry and anxiety, I remember I read somewhere, the person said, a person that worries is someone who is too present in the future, but not present in the present. And so many things are tied with, not staying in the present. When you worry about what's going to happen tomorrow, even the scripture says that don't worry, because you said tomorrow's evil is enough. But there are some things that you don't anticipate that will come up tomorrow. And then when it comes up tomorrow, you are even forgetting the worries. Like what you were worrying about was even now like very minuscule, very minute, tiny, right? With respect to what is happening. So it's the same thing with being happy. I feel like for a person to truly be happy, the person has to be able to stay in the present, look around and appreciate those things. As they say, dance in the hallway while waiting to get in the hall, dance in the hallway. So being able to stay in the present and be grateful for those little things. And there are many things I'm learning now. Like I read somewhere was talking about eating intentionally. So when you serve your plate of maybe rice and beans, you chew it mindfully. Take note of the textures, the taste, living intentionally, waking up, maybe if you want to drink coffee or whatever, or tea, or if you are not that kind of person, maybe oatmeal, chew those things, chew your food thoughtfully and just take a deep breath and appreciate where you are right now and all you have. Just as you said, like when I was thinking of 4 years but before I came here, I really wanted a PhD in Canada. I wanted it so much. I kept applying for a year, doing this, it was all I could see, and it got to a point where it seemed like I wasn't getting a supervisor to take me on. And so at that point, I just saw somewhere in the scriptures that said a fool thinks about what is far away, things that are far away, and I felt maybe I'm not being present. Maybe I should just forget about this and just focus on, so I decided to become no more desperate, So I feel like, and then that was when it happened. I decided to focus on Nigeria. I started looking for a lecturing job in Nigeria, and funny enough, I got that job and I also got the other one. It felt like it happened at the time when I released it. So being happy is releasing those things, letting it go, and just taking in the present, and it's a choice.
Well, I have a question when it comes to that, because I understand releasing it, but sometimes it's not so easy. It's because
hard. It is.
You want a solution at that particular time. So now, how do I necessarily enjoy that moment while waiting? Because most times it's not because I don't want to be happy. It's because I'm carried away. And one thing I've realized as humans generally is I see worry sometimes as a way of growth too, because like you are just tired of that position and you see the need to grow. But worry is not necessarily what you should have or what you should go through during that period. But if something is coming to mind that no, this is not good again, that means like maybe there is an opportunity to grow. So how can you enjoy that process? How can you enjoy that time? What can you do to be happy during this moment? So
honestly, guys, I'm not sitting here trying to tell us what to do, because we are all learning, right? As I'm talking, I'm also still making sure my words go back home with me, and that's the beauty of this conversation. It's just a reminder, because there are times that people just need a reminder. I've gone through some things that I just clicked on a YouTube video and then I got a different perspective, and sometimes it's just a reminder about something, so that's just what it is. But for me, what I do is to consciously make happiness a choice. I forget, I sleep up sometimes, I start worrying again, I start doing all of that, but then I decide to take myself back and just enjoy this, because somebody else wants to have what I have right now. I think that like we have to remember that, like maybe as viewers,
I can even give an example.
Keep telling yourself that somebody wants to have what you have right now. You're watching me now, wishing that you are doing what I'm doing, or maybe where I am. and somebody else is way past me right now, and I'm wishing I'm in that person's shoes. But someone wants to have what you have.
The truth is, the grass will always be greener on the other side. It's
always greener on the other side.
And an example is, there was a day, I can't even remember what happened that day, but someone posted me on his status and said good things about me. But the funny thing was, on that day, I wasn't even feeling myself. Like, I was just at that low point in my life that I felt like, what was going on? And this was someone else saying things, and was actually looking up, saying that I've raised the standard and he wants to, things like that. So what I'm saying in essence is, you always see moments that, and what you're always looking at is someone else or some other. It might not even be you comparing yourself with someone. It might even be you just want to achieve that next goal because you've hit this bar, and then you're worried about how to do it. So just like you say, just take a step back.
A step back for sure. A step back always works, I think. Like separating yourself from. So the topic is, why are we happy? When are we truly going to be happy? Right. So anxiety, those are things that don't let us, that makes us unhappy, right? So I feel separating yourself from that situation at every point in time gives perspective. It's really true. Like, I do that because honestly, life is
happiness also is a thing of choice. But there is actually a question that is coming to mind, because if you're waiting to that time you're going to be happy, definitely that might not happen.
You will never be happy.
But I've seen people in my life that are always happy, or maybe I confuse extroverted nature to happiness. And maybe I should just do a shout out to Jennifer.
Oh yes, she needs to join. Maybe when she comes to Kingston, she will just pop into our conversation.
It's needed.
She's a breath of. I've told her before.
So she knows that.
She's a breath of.
When I brought her to my podcast that I was doing.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, you can check it out.
The energy.
And then she also has.
Oh yes, let's take a pause and talk about that. So we actually both have our personal channels. Let me let you talk about your channel first.
Clustered Knots. We just
Clustered Knots. KNOTS.
Yeah.
So it will be linked. We will link our channels in our what's description box at all times, hopefully. So I have SMI Hub Canada, where I talk about everything studying and immigrating to Canada. It feels like I'm on my channel.
You already know how you do it.
It's a default. If you wake me up, I can't.
Well, of course, for my channel, we just talk about life issues and things that are going on, and different perspective. And the beauty of that is we have people of young age and all, just to look at it from a different perspective,
because we are all young and we're all learning.
Yes,
and I absolutely always enjoy those conversations as well. So you guys should check it out.
And yours too is actually enlightening. Like,
thank you.
Opens. I've gone through it a few times.
I started the channel because I went through a lot while trying to navigate the murky waters navigate the murky waters of Canadian immigration, from a student to a permanent resident, coming here with family, so I just wanted people to have that open resource access to information. That's why I started it.
And for me, it was just like, there are lots of unpopular opinions that also matters, because the world is saying this doesn't necessarily mean it's right. So let's just see this from this person's perspective and also hear from another
just
perspective.
compare.
So that's it. But going back to the main discussion before,
I have a question for you though, about the happiness, this topic we are talking about.
Because
you have a maybe you go first.
I haven't finished this particular one. So looking at someone like that, Jennifer is always happy. Even bringing her to my channel, what we talked about was check on your happy friends.
Oh, she's the perfect. Like, she's literally, like, when she comes in, everywhere just changes the atmosphere.
So the reason so what I'm saying is, and of course you know that she's extroverted. So is there a link between extrovert attitude of being extroverted and also happiness in a way, or it's just like still choosing to be happy irrespective of who you are?
I want to ask you a question based on that. Am I an extrovert or an introvert? At least you should know me to an extent. She's my colleague.
She's my sister, so she's not my colleague.
I said I'm a sister. Yes, it's my brother.
So I'll say to a large extent you're an extrovert.
Am I always happy like Jennifer? No, this is confession time. I think that should answer your question, because there are lots of extroverts, right? And we have varying degree of extrovertism, if that's a word. Like, it varies. Like, some of us are mixed. Like, sometimes I think extrovertism is when you get your energy from being with people. So sometimes I do that, but sometimes I become most times we think extroverts are people that talk a lot. But I think it's more of people that enjoy like, sometimes my husband is quiet, you know that, but he enjoys being with people. He actually genuinely enjoys being with people so much that he always wants us to organize things and all of that. And I'm like, I'm not up for this. I'm tired, you know. I don't always enjoy. I should be the one, because someone looking at me will think I will be the one. I'll be that social bee. It looks like it, but not always. Like, I prefer just being on my own, and sometimes when I'm with people too much, I feel like I'm drained. I need to step back in. So based on happiness and extrovertism, I don't think so. I just feel like people that are always positive minded are more likely to always be happy. Like, I've heard Jennifer talk several times. There was a time she went through something that day. I can't remember. It was something. I don't want to talk about it.
A car was.
Some things were stolen from her car. She came for her choir rehearsal, and
you don't even know anything.
Honestly, she was still there. Ray of sunshine. This is someone that is a nurse. She's a nurse, so you know, in the hospital, sometimes you can come back and then your mood. But no, she's always, because she's just positive. She was telling me, she was like, "Oh, I thank God it's no more than that." You know the way she talks. So I think it's just a positive mindset that makes people happy, and it's still this choice, always coming back to deciding, to choosing to be happy. I have decided, I don't know about you, that I will start being happy. I just have to. Like, when will I be happy? When will I be? And that's my question now. My question to you is, do you think age helps with this conscious choice to be happy, or this perspective, you know?
For me, I even think age affects it in a negative way. Okay. Because looking at it, for a child, a child is almost always happy.
Carefree.
Looking at Vicky now, she plays around. She doesn't even care about what's going on. And then, as you grow, that you want to find meaning to life. As you grow, you can even grow to an extent that you see some mistakes you've made, and then it goes down. So, and on the other side too, maybe it might help if you're doing well and you want to achieve more, maybe. But I just think majority of the people, in my own opinion, even get depressed as they grow
older. I think I think you're right, and I think it has to do with introspection. You having the ability. The Yorubas call it, I'm a Yoruba girl, they call it konironu. Like, if you're Yoruba, you might understand. And what they just mean is, you're not thinking about, like, why are you so carefree? I mean, I feel like our culture sometimes, we are Nigerians, and our culture sometimes, I don't know where you're from, but I am from Nigeria, and sometimes our culture tends to tag people that are carefree and as being, they'll say one, like in Yoruba, as I say one, no, that means you are not being thoughtful, you are not reflective, you are not introspective, right? And they feel the reason why you are too happy is because you're probably not thinking about your life. You're not being serious about your life. Like, the more serious you are, the more likely you succeed. Like, some people feel like because a person has a serious demeanor in school, you likely be an A student. Like, you have those kind of stereotypes, and then you see someone that is always smiling, they feel the person is probably not intelligent. Like, so some of those stupid things, which getting, like, what I asked about age is, maybe it's maturity I should have asked. I feel like, for me, there are some of these things that the older I get, there are some things that mattered a lot to me that I see now that doesn't make any sense. There are some things I used to worry about that now I don't care anymore about. I've been through a lot in my life, good times, bad times. I know we all have experience. And I see that there's no point in worrying anymore, because I'm getting to know that. Like 10 years back, no, I would worry about everything. So maybe it's maturity, emotional maturity, I don't know. Because if we say age, there are people that are old that still worry.
A lot.
Still worry, and so I don't know. But anyway, it's a conscious choice to be happy.
Of course, you just have to be intentional when it comes to happiness. You know? And now, I don't know if this is not getting too long, but choosing your, what's it called, your hobbies, especially when you talk about being happy. I've noticed that over time they say have fun, enjoy your life. But sometimes for someone like me, that doesn't necessarily talk about happiness. And I think I've always done something wrong, and I'm just trying to be conscious of that these days. I've always been in the habit of once someone is playful or something like that, I will look at the person like, you're not serious, you should be serious.
Yeah.
Which is actually wrong.
Cultural thing.
Yeah. But for me now, when it comes to happiness, it's not necessarily about being dancing all around or something like that.
Yeah.
So I feel, is it necessarily tied to happiness? For me happiness for me can just be even you're talking to someone, and then because I find a lot of fulfillment, and I can be happy the whole day, and I'll even think of it, why am I happy? And you think that, oh, that person that you've actually talked to, and then the person appreciated the conversation or saw something like, oh, you've really just touching that. So what I'm saying is happiness really necessarily based on activities, or it can be anything that causes fulfillment for you?
Oh well, now it feels like you're interviewing me. Well, I would say that happiness is not doing things that people tell you will make you happy, because we all have different things that make us happy. For me, if I begin to music, I'm into music, so music affects me a lot. If you start playing something by Enya, for instance, now Enya always plays sad songs. Sorry, Enya. I'll just say that my mood has changed, so it affects me. It doesn't. There are some people that they don't care, like music is nothing to them, they won't even notice anything is going on. There was a time I just realized they just finished playing Titanic in one room. I was there, and then I came out and I was different. I felt sadder. I felt that I should be sad. I felt like I felt that I should be sad, with the moment, and remorseful, and just think of my life, the way just so if you tell somebody that is not into music now to do that, I could just sit there, drink something, and just wake up in the morning when my kids are still sleeping, and then I just savor my tea or something, and I feel so happy and grateful. And it might not mean anything to anybody. So it's not doing. People are fond of that, saying, "Oh, go out, have some fun, go and party." What if you are not the party person? What if partying does not bring you happiness? Like me now. When I party, I'm thinking of my child. I will see it. I will still come and cook. Maybe not cooking the whole day will bring me happiness. Maybe the priest not cook for me.
Like you'll be happy that at least you are not bothered about that.
I'm not doing dishes. I'm not cooking. You guys will just chill, and I will just chill there with my hair. So I think we should know our definitions of happy. What triggers us to be sad? Maybe it's frustration, and then you notice when you're getting frustrated about an issue, you start getting sad, and you have to channel your energy back. This thing will not frustrate me. Block it off. So we all have.
And I also think it's also about doing what works for you. Like if going out makes you happy, go out. If traveling makes you happy, travel. Yeah. And it's also boils down to now setting the real values, because if you have bad values and killing people makes you happy, I'm not saying that. Because
I often wonder, people that kill and are serial killers, do they
when you say do what makes you happy, and then if it is stealing that makes me happy, should I go into that?
As long as it doesn't hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Like at least have this set of values, and you know that it's a good set of values system that I can follow. Even when making my decision to be happy, when making those conscious efforts, are this still in line with my values system? So if it is, why not? And of course, it should be good morals.
Thank you so much, Toby. I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
It was really nice.
I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah. So,
and I think this is creating a consciousness within me, which I've still been working on. That you don't have to wait till the end of the thing.
No.
For me, I love running around and not just sitting down at home most times to make extra cash. And for me, it's always difficult when you're just at home then I start thinking I could have made
More.
more money.
And that's another discussion for another day. Money does not really truly bring happiness.
Yeah,
It's
but
never
now
enough.
I'm trying to now create that consciousness that it's not about this.
Yeah.
Take time out, enjoy moments, even enjoy
that money you are
sometimes.
making. And it's so easy in the developed world to want to chase after shifts and everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to this, and I believe we even want to hear your opinion about.
For sure, your comments.
Yeah, your comments about happiness generally. What makes you happy? When can we truly be happy? And we actually read them, and we like your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, and see you the next time.
And do not forget to subscribe,
like,
share,
please, so that others can get to watch this as well.
That's it. Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.